How you doing, folks? Well, you know, you've heard me say it time and time again. I love it when a plan comes together. And you'll hear me say it from time to time. Damn, that didn't go as it was planned. Well, today just happened to be one of them days, plumb full of variables and plans that do not work out like you think the plan's going to work out. And I guess that's what life is, Thank God for Austrian rum and cherry Pepsi. Oh. The only drink better than that is Black Rifle coffee, and it's too late in the day to have that. Anyway, went out to do that accuracy testing, the trajectory testing on that Ruger 5.7x2.8. And the day was fraught with, well, this ain't a kid's show, absolute fuckageness. Okay, that's the only way to put it. Got out there, thought that pistol was 0 to 25. Wasn't. You'll see that in the following footage. Did the first verification for 0, and rounds were hitting about 4.5 inches high of center. They were on center for left and right. And they were just way the hell up there, and I couldn't figure that out because they were hitting good when I did the previous videos with this pistol. But that pistol has been in my bug out bag since about March of the pandemic, and it's traveled quite a bit and it's done a lot of things, and I guess that thing got bumped off somehow. I don't know. Consequently, I thought maybe it was just shooting a little high due to the fact that I started out with the FN ammunition, but that wasn't the case. So I burned up about $70 worth of ammo doing some separate scenes at 25, 50, 75, and 100. Well, those scenes aren't in here because I don't want you seeing me and hearing me being that god awful angry and mad. No, it wasn't that bad, but I had to cut them out because rounds weren't going anywhere that I thought they would. So I went back to square one. I went back to 25 yards. I recertified, re-zeroed just whoop, right there as best I could. And you'll hear me talking in the commentary about that lawyer trigger. And, you know, and I'm shooting at it a steel plate and you're just banging away. Yeah. That trigger isn't even hardly a consideration. You still know it's there. But when you're trying to take a pistol and set it on a sandbag and really get bagged in and try to make a good, accurate shot because you're trying to see where it's really going, that lawyer trigger, just I'm not lying. I think I've only had one gun in my life in the last 50 years that had a trigger worse than that, and it came from some fucking country that ended in Fuckistan or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, so I fired another $25 worth of ammo to finally get the adjustments to where it was actually shooting somewhere close to center. And then I just rolled it back to 80 yards, put it out there, and fired what I could. And you'll see in that scene how 20 rounds, I think I had 8 that actually hit the target, and the rest were popping limbs off the top. I don't know how that was happening, unless there's just something about the way that red dot was working that the further away you get, the higher your bullet hits, which to me is weird, but I guess it could, I don't know, I can't explain it. So, without having to put in between each one of those clips that you'll see following after this, without having to put a little clip of commentary in there, basically something to the effect of, and here's where it went to shit again, and here's where it went to shit again, and oh, by the way, yeah, this is where it went to shit. Yeah, well, just suffice it to each time you see a kind of a blip and you know that we changed, add in your own head, and here's where it went to shit again. Steve Lawson, boy, I tell you, I don't know. I really honestly don't know. I think the only way to really figure out the answer to your question of is there any appreciable drop with that caliber cartridge over distance is to put it in a rifle platform with a telescopic sight. That way you're going to be able to get something done, because my friend, with a Ruger 5.7 by 2.8 5.5-inch barrel with a goddamn trigger that must have been designed by a fucking 4-year-old with a law degree. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm frustrated as hell. In fact, I'm just going to spend the rest of the night drinking rum. This video isn't even going to come out for another 24 to 36 hours because I want to be nursing a hangover. Because this ain't how it's supposed to happen. I mean, I know nobody's perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. I am so fucking far from perfect, it's unreal. And certainly the gun isn't perfect. And the trigger, well, you really can't even call that trigger nowhere near perfect. You have to call that trigger, son of a bitch. And on the subject of the trigger, if there's anybody that watches this video that happens to know of an upgrade available for that weapon, for that specific trigger, that can turn that into a really fine instrument, man, if you know that, drop it in the commentary down there. Let the rest of us know. Because if you own one of these, you think about getting one of these, you have to resign yourself to the fact that the trigger on this weapon is designed for one thing: up close personal defense within 15, 20, 25 yards. You'll have some pretty good success. It shot some pretty nice groups at 25. But everything I fired at 50, 75, and 100 that you don't see on here did the same thing that this final clip does at the very bottom of this. It just, bullets going everywhere. And not only did I have the pistol sandbagged in, I had a sandbag under the butt of the pistol. And not only that, with my head straight behind it, looking through that red dot, okay, looking through that red, I have my chin on a sandbag. All 3 points of reference in line, bagged in. I'm not just banging away like that, you know. So yeah, Steve, I really wish I could have gotten a better grade on this project. But like I said, I don't know. If you want to really find it out, well, like I did earlier when I responded, you can look at the data and it'll tell you where it ought to go or what it ought to do. But I think a carbine length barrel, you know, like a PS90 or one of those AR uppers that takes that PS90 mag, probably be the way to go, with an absolute reticle style optic on it. And then you might be able to find something out. But as far as that Ruger pistol's concerned, thanks for the comment, thanks for the question. It was interesting as hell, and I was really looking forward to this. God damn, I really wanted to see this thing, and I thought, boy, this ought to be something. Well, it was something. It wasn't anything like what I thought it was going to be. I can tell you that right now. So thank you, Ruger, for your lawyer trigger. Thank you, Steve Lawson, for your comment, and I'm sorry I couldn't give us much better results than I did. But, you know, sometimes a plan comes together, sometimes it don't, and today it damn sure did not. So, all right, anybody else got any questions about anything or might want to know something that I might be able to put together that does not involve a Ruger 5.7 by 2.8 or a fucking lawyer trigger? Bang away, get after it, people. Enjoy, and remember, each time you see the little card that kind of cuts the screen out to a different color and it starts that one, remember, say it in your mind, and here's where it went to shit. And here's where it went to shit again. And, well, yeah, it went to shit, and it went to shit, and it kept going to shit. I can say one thing, Austrian rum don't take long. And see, that's why you see me not holding a weapon or even being in possession of one, because right now, I don't even want to touch a gun. I just had a horrible experience with a gun. I just want alcohol, and I don't even want to touch a firearm. I'm not going to touch a firearm for 3 days. I'm afraid some of that shit might rub off on something else that I shoot that does a whole lot better. Alright, well, enjoy. Get after it. Have fun. Remember to insert your commentary. And remember, please, we're still in a pandemic, I think. I mean, after the ice storm, a lot of signs have come down about masks. You know, I'm not a doctor. I never played one on TV. I did play one in first grade, but I had to suspend that practice. But better safe than sorry, right? If you like your mask, wear your mask. If you don't like it, don't wear it. But if you go around people that don't appreciate the fact you're not wearing one, be kind of sympathetic to how they feel. They're scared. They've never been in the military. They've never had to deal with things like NBC and mop gear and all that fun shit. You guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Next time, I promise, I'll try to have something a little bit. Hell, even Matt Carricker over in Texas, you know, shit out there at them over, hell, even he has a bad day. I mean, hell, if he can have a bad day, this old redneck can certainly have one. So, you guys take it easy, be cool, be careful. I love you. Pass it on. Morning, folks. How's it going? Well, we got a little wind today, but not near as much as we had yesterday. And I finally made it out here to the range. Do that testing on the Ruger 5.7 by 2.8. We're kind of curious as to what kind of trajectory we're getting as far as drop between two basic styles of ammunition brands. The FN 40 grain ballistic tip and the American Eagle FMJ, both of them 40 grain bullets. Got a couple targets set up here. We're going to start shooting at 25 yards just to confirm the zero of this pistol. Then we're going to move back to 50 using the same targets, see if there's any drop or appreciable rise. Then we're going to move back to 75, and then we're going to move back to 100. Now, I could get more than 100 yards, but I really don't think I need to. If you're going to shoot at something with this 100 yards away, you better be Sergeant Alvin York. And the reason I say that is, although these are fine pistols, there is a factor in this pistol that really prevents you from having any appreciable accuracy at distances at that range. I call it a lawyer trigger. And by lawyer trigger, what I mean is this. There's a hell of a lot of pull. You got take up. It's like a Glock trigger. It's got that center piece on it. You got almost a ½ an inch of pull. And then when you start pulling, you've got another 3/8 of an inch. And it's not smooth, and it loads up. It's not a bad trigger, and for dependability, you can't hardly beat these puppies for going off, because they will eat that ammunition. But that trigger doesn't really lend itself to extreme accuracy at longer ranges. So 100 yards is going to be the limit, and we'll see what it does. And on the left target, I'm going to be shooting the FN ballistic tip. On the right target, I'll be firing the American Eagle Federal. And like I said, we're going to start out at 25 and see what it does. We're going to be firing from a supported bag rest, obviously. We're using the Vortex Venom red dot sight. It's a pretty nice sight, but there's a factor I have to take into consideration on the use of red dots. That's the fact that years of welding have burdened me with what they call astigmatism. So although I see fine in just about any respect when I try to look at a red dot in one of these, I don't see a perfectly round red dot. I see a star. So I just put the center of the star where I want to hit, and that's how it usually happens. But anyway, that's what we're going to be dealing with. Like I said, our wind is fairly light. We're going to back up, try to have the wind more or less directly behind us, coming right across our back. 5, 10, 12 miles an hour at times, so it ought to be pretty good. So we've got the board set up. We're going to get back there at the first distance, and I'm going to try to leave the camera set up down here so we can see the impacts for the first two, the 25 and the 50, and then I'll back it up with me as we fire and use the telephoto and the zoom. So anyway, stand by. Alrighty, getting ready to go ahead and verify our zero. We're shooting at 25. See what kind of results we get. I hope they're the right results. And remember, I'm shooting from a supported sandbag rest. I'm firing the FN ammunition, the blue tip, first. Alrighty, let's see how we do. Left-hand target. Level your trigger. All right, now we're going to fire the Federal American Eagle, the right-hand target. All right, so let's see how we did. Just to see where the zeros are at. All right, it appears that the FN is running just about an inch and a half higher than the American Eagle does. And that would make sense. The advertised velocities for those two ammunitions, the FN advertised is 1,950 feet per second, and the American Eagle is 1,915. So it appears that's showing itself on the targets. It would also appear that, with the exception of two, and it just might have been me, looks like my group's staying a little left with the American Eagle, but the group for the FM was right there on center. Okay, let's move her back to 50 and see how she does. Well, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's a you-know-what and lawyer trigger. Jeez, it's like trying to pull the trigger on a hill I don't know. An SKS? A Mosin Nagant? Jeez, I'm probably all over the damn paper. Holy cow. Well, I am on at 25. I'm good for right. I need to take her a little left, don't I? A couple clicks anyway. Shit. I could bring it down one, maybe two. Still need to come left a couple clicks, don't I? Still need left and lower, don't I? Okay. Let's see how we do now. Well, I keep turning the adjustment units, and I guess they're a finer adjustment than I thought they'd be, but holding a really nice group, ain't it? Bring it down two more clicks and go left three. Swear to God, it's the most useless goddamn trigger on any pistol I've ever had. But I finally got a little piece of the red. Thank God. Alrighty then. Okay, after $80 worth of ammunition, I discovered something. So I had to go back and, you know, we had to go back there and reevaluate the Zero. A lot of deleted scenes of ammunition that was going all sorts of different places. So we came back and we did a verification of our Zero at 25. Turns out we had to adjust that red dot somewhat. That's probably due to the fact that I spent the last 9 months of the pandemic in my bug out bag getting thrown around, and might have had an effect. The first zeroing at 25 yards, it was about 4.25 inches high of center, but it was still good for left and right. And then I fired subsequent groups at differing ranges, thinking it was going to drop. It didn't. It kept going higher and higher. So we went back and we re-zeroed, made sure our Zero was dead on at 25. Fired some more, and instead of going back at 50 and 75 and 100 and firing another $40 worth of ammunition, the main premise of the question was appreciable drop past 50 out to 100, but we're sitting here at 80 yards right now, and pardon the aircraft overhead. Looks like he's out just enjoying fun in the sun like the rest of us are. Unless maybe he's, I don't know, might be spraying COVID. You never can tell. Looks like a government plane. Anyway, so now we're going to get back on there. We're here at 80 yards, and we're going to fire 10 rounds of the FN and 10 rounds of the American Eagle, both at that right-hand target, and hopefully some of them hit the paper. In previous videos, when I first got this pistol and I was testing, you heard me talk about the trigger and the fact that it is a lawyer trigger. Boy, when you even sit here and get all sandbagged in and try to really get rested up, you can do everything you can try to do, but to try to defeat that trigger is almost damn near impossible. So if you hear me cursing now and then, it's not a kid show. But let's give it a shot and see what happens before we run out of camera power and very expensive ammo. All right, shooting the FN first. Yeah, we'll throw some American Eagle down there with it. See if I can see it with my rangefinder. It appears I got a couple. Where the rest of them went, I couldn't tell you. Hate this friggin' trigger. Alright. I had toy guns when I was a kid that had better triggers than this. Yeah, looks like a lot of it's going a little low, but not too awfully low. There's more holes in the bottom. Let's send a couple of more American Eagles down there. What do you say? Yeah, one more. Yeah, hey, here's an extra FN. Let's send it down there. All right, let's go find out what that lawyer trigger did for us at these extreme ranges.